the bottle and smoke till we panic. I'm glad to be alive, I'll never take that for granted. I'm high on my mind, with my hands on my cannon. I'm glad to be alive, I'll never take that for granted. 6 a.m., smoked out, eyes slanted. LA money problems mine.
Yo, welcome back to King Sportscast, guys. Great episode today. Really pumped up. Got an interview with my boy Alan Wilson. He plays professionally over in Europe, in Germany to be exact. He just actually made a huge signing. We'll go over with him. Yeah, I'm really excited to have him on. He's actually going back to Germany on Wednesday to continue his professional career. So we're really, really blessed to have him on the episode today, guys. You do not want to miss this info out, especially if you're looking to maybe going in this route or have kids or cousins or relatives that want to play in Europe. Maybe they're not good enough to play in the NFL or the CFL. This is a really big episode. How's it going, Alan? How you been, man? It's actually good to just chop it up with you.
I'm doing all right, man. Thanks for having me on the show. Really glad to be here.
Yeah, man. So first, I guess just kind of go over. We actually played high school football together. He was a freshman when I was a senior, so we didn't really get to meet prime for prime and play together. But definitely got to get some scraps in, and just excited to talk some football with you today, man. I guess just kind of go over where you started and how you kind of got into this point.
Well, man, like you said, played high school football together at Palm Harbor High. From there, ended up transferring to Tarpon High. Spent my sophomore, junior, senior year there, and things really didn't work out for me that well as far as going to college. So I had to go another route. Walked on at Black Hills State University. Spent a year there. Things really weren't meshing the way I wanted them to. So ended up transferring again. Went to a JUCO in North Dakota. Unbelievably cold. Not my scene. I had to get up out of there too. And I took a year off from football, not really knowing what I was going to do, what kind of route I was going to go. And then saw a homeboy. He was actually posting pictures of him in Poland. And I was like, I don't understand why he's in Poland right now. So I hit him up on Facebook, and I'm like, hey, man, what are you doing out there? He hits me back, and he goes, oh, I'm actually playing pro ball. And that just sounded like the craziest thing on the planet to me. So I basically didn't message him back. He messaged me back about 2 weeks later and was like, you need to get out here. And, I mean, the rest is just history after that. Just kind of went online, made a profile on Euro players, ended up signing a contract with the Ascendia Cardinals in Essen, Germany. Great program, had a lot of fun there, got to travel a lot in the third division. And then, like Ryan said, I just made another signing. I'm actually going to be going to France this time. I'll be living in Paris. I'll be playing for the La Coronade Flash.
Wow, that's insane, man. Honestly, I was talking about it the other day with someone from just seeing you as a player, as your freshman in high school. I mean, you definitely hadn't grown into your body yet, for sure.
No.
And it just you leaps and bounds physically. I remember just playing basketball with you, just being like, wow, this is not the same kid. I think we played 7-on-7 in the Logie, the Kushner tournament, and absolutely mossed me. And but I probably shouldn't even have been that deep downfield, but it's dope to see you playing professionally. We got a couple other homies out there we were talking about, and it's just cool to see kids keep playing football, keep chasing that dream, even if it's not in the NFL. You don't have to technically put the pads down, and if you can make some extra money in contacts, man, just incredible, dude. I guess first, what are the benefits for you in football other than all the things you've already pointed out? What are some of the main things that you would give advice to people to continue pushing and maybe playing at a lower college level or in the European leagues?
The big thing I would say is just don't give up. Too many people get so obsessed with the highest point, and it's like, look, bruh, if everyone that's strapped on the pads was meant to play in the league, there wouldn't be any other leagues. That's just how it works. So you kind of have to be willing to go, all right, where do I fit? Coming out of college, it took a minute, but I had to tell myself all right, man, you're not going to the NFL. If you're going to the NFL, they would be hitting you up already. You're well past that point. So like I said, when I saw my homeboy playing over there, I just kind of blew it off because I was still in that mindset of if it ain't the NFL, it ain't for me, which is not the way to go at all.
So dumb.
It's just not the smart thing to do. But the biggest thing is if it's what you want to do, chase it. never leave any doubt, because, you know, how many people do you know that are like older, like even just not even older, like even in their 30s, talking about stuff they did in high school, and then you kind of go, well, there's a giant gap between 18 and 30. What have you been doing?
Nothing.
And it's like, oh, well, you know, I could have did this, could have did that. Like, don't be a woulda, shoulda, coulda kind of person. Like, just go chase it. Like, if you're coming out of high school and, you know, all you got is NAIA, go to NAIA. Being the best at wherever you're at means something. And go to D3. Don't matter. Go play in Europe. Like, I'm loving it. I get to travel for free. Like, I spend 7 months out of every year in Europe on vacation for free. And on top of that, I get paid to do what I love. I mean, I know guys that are playing the NFL that they're miserable.
Yeah, no. Honestly, man, it's super cool. Got a couple other friends, like I said, play out there, and to just travel, make all those contacts, got to be so cool. Definitely agree with you. Just from my past football experiences, if you can go anywhere and you can keep playing, and that's really what you want to do, just do it. Like, don't worry about how it looks on the outside. Because if you're really you think you deserve to be D1 and you go play at a smaller school, you'll get noticed. I mean, there are people who get paid to scout you day in and day out. They're not just going to look past you because they don't like you or whatever. If you're worth it, you're going to be there. And if you get to go to Europe, play professionally, you get to be a professional athlete. Like, think about that. As a kid, you're like, I want to be a professional athlete. You've succeeded in that dream. Maybe not for the fucking Dallas Cowboys or for, you know, the NFL team, and you didn't realize it could be in Europe, but like, it's crazy to think you told me you could understand and speak a little German. Like, now you're going to go to Paris, you're going to learn some French, and that's just an amazing opportunities just after football that you get. And it's honestly crazy. So what is maybe one of the I guess hurdles that you have to go through to get on? I know we wanted to talk about this, about the German recruiting or the football Euro recruiting. What are some of the hurdles and maybe a bonus or a plus side to the recruiting process to Europe?
The biggest plus side for sure, let me just get that out of the way first. The biggest plus side for sure is getting a passport. Like, a lot of you talk to a lot of guys that are out here, hey man, let me give you the key to the streets. Well, the key to the streets is a passport.
The key to the world.
Key to the world is a passport. And one like big hurdle that you have to face is like it really tries your patience for sure, because these teams that are recruiting you, first off, like, let me just back up a little bit. After I got in touch with my homeboy and like he told me, like, you go on this site, it's called europlayers.com. Remember that if you're trying to get out there. You make a profile, you put your film on there, you put all your measurables, 40 time, all that jazz. And then you have two options. You can message teams or you can wait. And like, there's a tab where you can see who's looking at your profile, and these teams are looking at your profile and you're messaging them, you're not hitting you back, but that's really it. Like, it's like DMing a girl and she doesn't get back to you.
Some creepy Facebook football thing.
It really is. It honestly is, bro. Like, and then finally a team hits you up. Like, sometimes there's no pictures of the guy you're talking to. Like, you know, maybe you could go on Facebook and find his name, but he's not on Facebook. And these people are sitting here talking numbers with you about money and, oh yeah, flights, and we need you to fly out in 2 weeks and all this craziness. And you're like, wait a minute. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you are, to be 100% honest, but I really want to play football. I just really, really want to play football.
Yeah, that's honestly, that's really funny, and I know it's got to be tough when you're sitting there having to trust someone on the other side of the world, and you're gonna have to risk maybe taking, you know, paying money, this and a third. But when you got a dream, all those little hiccups, they don't really matter when you're trying to chase it. So that, in that aspect, I know you definitely 100% very happy with your decision to play in Europe.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So you, with the German team, the Division III, the Sydney Cardinals, you had maybe less targets than you'd want, but you were productive. And if you see any of the film, which you guys can hit me up, anytime he caught the ball, this man looked like LeBron James out there. So it was awesome for me to see someone come from where he came from and just see him completely ball out. Something he's probably worked at now for almost a decade. It's definitely dope. But the Paris team, I guess, you were kind of going in about them and how good they are and how you're really excited for this opportunity in Division I.
Yeah.
So just to see that within a couple years you're already Division I in a German league. I think it's only, I mean, you have so much to still do, and that's super exciting just for me, and for anyone that knows you is definitely majorly proud of you for that aspect. And I know your dad would be very, very proud of you. So other than that, for that, what is your, I guess, what are you most excited about for being in Paris compared to Germany?
Big thing, I'm really happy about being able to experience another culture, because I've been in Germany for 2 years, and I really never in my life, like before I went over there, I was like, yeah, I want to go to Germany and like live, like, when you're in high school here, like you go, all right, Berlin Wall, Hitler, and that's really about it. Schnitzel.
Is there still Nazis? I don't know.
No Nazis. It's actually against the law. Like, you'll go to jail if you get, like, if someone sees you like pulling up a swastika, like the way people like do the Confederate flag here, like it's like a no. Like, they see you with a swastika or anything resembling Hitler, like you're going to jail.
Oh, that's intense.
Racism is legitimately illegal there. And just, getting to experience another program and the way they do things, because this is on a whole nother level. Up in the first division, you have guys that were, cut from NFL rosters like a year or two ago. Like, there's the Potsdam Royals there in Germany. They play in the first division, and last year they had a defensive end, can't remember his name right now, but he was released from the Bucks 3 months after they got him. 3 months before they got him. And, when you're playing against guys like that, that's when you measure up. The Frankfurt Universe, they were the German championship runner-up this year. Their starting DB got cut by the Jets last year. So it's guys like that I'm excited to play against.
Oh, yeah, that's always, when you play in sports, you always love getting that test, not knowing where you're at by the competition you're playing against. It's obviously, when you go against the kids that you're supposed to beat and you beat them, yeah, it's great. You score a touchdown, you get the stats. Like, I'm not going to hate on any success, but always when you beat, like, I remember me and Mark at a lineman camp beat Chaz Green, a future that's still in the pros right now, play offensive tackle.
He's still with the Cowboys?
Nah, I think he plays for the Jaguars as a backup. I'm not exactly sure. But me and Mark beat him and his teammate like 2-on-2 in a lineman drill to win the lineman championship. And like that meant just as much to me as beating some kid in practice 10 times over.
Right.
So that's got to be exciting to go, keep escalating the talent and see how good you can be against that talent. Well, there also another cool thing about being out there is some of the connections. I know we were talking about there is a camp in Vienna, Austria, where you actually get to go train like 300 kids, ranging from ages. That's got to be pretty cool to give back, especially from the opportunity you have. I don't know, I guess go into that a little bit.
Yeah, man, it's wild. Before going over there, I really had, zero clue that, there was football in general out there. Like, you think like there's over, in just Germany alone, between 7 divisions, there's 225 teams in just Germany. And I go to this camp, like, again, this was like another like weird sketchy thing. I got hit up on Facebook by a guy who was like, hey man, you want to come coach at this youth camp in Austria? I've never been to Austria. And I'm like, sure, why not? Screw it. It's free. I'll do it. So Europe's Elite Level Up Camp, they hit me up. I went out there. One of the best experiences of my life, man. Like, seeing the passion that these kids have for a sport that's not even native to their land is just unbelievable. It makes you like look at some parts of the game that you take for granted. And, these kids don't have any bad habits. They watch Odell Beckham. They watch Tom Brady. They watch, guys like Le'Veon Bell. And they watch them play, and it's not the same mentality. It's not like, oh, I want to be Le'Veon Bell. It's like, no. I want to work hard and grind and aspire to maybe someday
be as good as him,
instead of just wearing the arm sleeve and making a bunch of moves in the backfield thinking they can just do it from day one. And it's unbelievable. At the camp there were 350 kids representing 27 different countries. There were kids from Egypt, there were kids from Israel, like countries where, outside of soccer you think like, what do you guys do?
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you could see that too with basketball now, as they talk about is in basketball in Europe, they really just concentrate on the fundamentals, just getting good. And that's why you see Luka Doncic being such a complete player at such a young age, where a lot of the kids now, they really care more about making mixtapes and being the guy with the supreme, wristband.
Yeah,
more,
for real. They want to be the cool guy. They're like, they want to be the guy that's got street cred and be like, oh yeah, well, you may be better than me at football, but I'll up the 40 on you in the parking lot over nothing. It's like, really, man? You just want to go?
Well, all that doesn't really matter because they'll be doing 40.
Exactly.
And they'll never see any of their friends ever again. But yeah, with all that you've been through in your football career and all the ups and downs, maybe not from a talent standpoint, but from just going to, bad school after like annoying coach situation, after all that, you're a true testament of, I guess, grinding through the struggle and getting to the, like, where now you're like having fun with it, doing stuff. And, you definitely had the talent level going forward, like, and like your athletic ability. It was just kind of like growing into your body and all that. What were some of the habits and techniques that you formed through that, especially through the even year that you didn't play football? I mean, you were working at LA Fit. I mean, we were at LA Fitness every day, so I know you were staying in shape. What were some of the things that you did to, keep in shape until you got your opportunity?
I mean, I looked to a lot of guys like Atavius Scott and Devin Abraham, guys that were younger than me. They were still playing in college, but I looked at stuff like that where it's like, even them, they're unsure. And, I talk to those guys, even though they're younger than me, they're playing at a higher level. So they have some more knowledge than I do. And they were like, hey, man, you just got to be ready. I talked to my uncle, Ted Watts, played for the Raiders. He's a Super Bowl. He was like, you never know when that call is going to come, and you never know who's going to be on the other side of the phone. And if you pick up and you're not ready, there goes your opportunity. You just you gotta stay ready so you don't got to get ready. It's like a thing I live by. And, the biggest thing I had to find out after going, like you said, from bad school and like other crazy coaching situations, it wasn't a talent thing for me. It was a mentality where I had to learn to be like, they say be a dog on the field. And I had to learn that. Like, I was physically gifted enough to play football, but for a while there, mentally, my mind was much smaller than my body was.
Yeah, 100%. If I'm a testifier to it. I saw you when you were younger, and I played basketball with you at LA Fitness. And the one thing I noticed from like a more grown you, not only obviously the physical ability that you had, is just like you'd want to go and cram on someone. Like you'd want to do that. Where maybe when you were younger, you were like you wanted to, but you didn't like just want to blindly do it. Like you wanted to be good. Like everyone wants to be good, but you didn't want to blindly be good no matter what. Like I don't care if I'm taking out my teammates, I'm going to go cram on this person. Yeah. So that dog aspect, I think, and obviously even you didn't probably even know that networking aspect, being able to communicate with kids that play your same position, play your same sport, or maybe a little ahead of you. That's like a true key testament to success, is being able to be humble enough to ask people like, yo, what did you do? What do I need to do? What do I need to get better at? Because, without, Tay and some of, your uncle, those are great, I guess, people to look up to, especially, you were very lucky to have all those people in your life to push you through all that. Because, like all of us, we all saw the potential. Just obviously, getting to that point where you're ready athletically and getting the call. So this year, is there any way to view any of your games, or is it all pre-recorded, or is it online? I guess just tell some of the people who might be interested to see you play.
This year it's going to be really dope because all of our games will be live on YouTube. The ones that aren't live will be pre-recorded and posted. So all you have to do is go to the Lord Koronov Flash website. We actually have our own YouTube channel. All of our games are going to be there. All the games from last year are there, and you'll be able to see everything, live stats, everything, commentary. All the commentary will be in French, so it really won't apply to anybody. But just be ready to watch the game. I'll be ready to put on a show for y'all.
Hey, yeah, and guys too, I'll be posting when he plays, all that stuff onto the Facebook, Instagram. I'll make sure to keep you guys in line with that. So you're going to be playing receiver. Are you going to be playing both ways or just receiver this year?
See, that's another thing I'm like super excited about, is because the last two teams I've played for, like, you kind of go into it, like I said, like some parts of it are sketchy where it's like, oh yeah, we want you to come over here and do this. And, in college, I end up being thrusted into a quarterback role for a little bit. That was not fun. That wasn't fun. But, it went over there, me going to Germany this last season. It was like, oh yeah, we're recruiting you as a receiver. And it's like, all right, dope. Then I get there and it's, hey, you take some snaps at quarterback? Yeah, no problem. I like the game. Hey, can you play some corner? Yeah, I've played it before, Then it just turns into, just like almost like high school football where you're just expected to do everything, and I'm playing receiver, then I'm running down on kickoff after I score the touchdown, then I'm guarding another receiver, just all that. And this season I'm not going to have to play defense. We actually, this team has a lot of talent with them being up in the first division. They have guys from France that have played college football here in the U.S. at high levels. So I'll only have to play receiver, and it'll definitely be a different experience than having to, coach the other national guys, because as an import player, you're required to coach a little bit, whether it be the youth program or helping out with the guys you play with. So I'll just get to focus on my craft at receiver, and that's really it. And then, return kicks and punts as an athlete.
Hell yeah. It's got to be exciting. I definitely understand what it means to play roles that you probably didn't dream yourself of playing in the meaning of winning for your team.
Oh, yeah.
But you got to do that sometimes, and but sometimes it's going to be awesome. You getting into your role this year. I think being in Paris, new environment. It's going to be fun, man. I'm excited. I'm actually going to try and watch some games. Get the scheduling down. We got our boy Sean Shelton, who also is out there in Austria. Maybe you guys could face up in the European tournament.
There's actually a chance that we play. So one of the things, just to give y'all a little insight on it, is European football is actually structured a lot like soccer, where they have these like tournaments throughout the year. So like mid spring, there's the Euro Bowl, and the people who participate in the Euro Bowl are in the Big Six. So they invite a bunch of teams and they try to coordinate games. So my team plays in the Big Six League. Sean's team plays in the Big Six League. They have in years past. So there is a chance that we might be able to meet up at some point in the spring and play against each other in like an exhibition match for a tournament. So I look forward to that.
That's crazy, guys. And I guess for some of the listeners who don't know, Sean is Sean Shelton. He was the quarterback. He graduated a year before at Palm Harbor. So it was in our infancy days before he was part of the first winning season at Palm Harbor. But he actually, played college, kind of had the same thing with you, kind of went to the same type of college scenario where he started all 4 years like he did in high school, but it wasn't a winning program. So like he was always hyper talented at quarterback, but kind of playing at like undervalued schools. And he got himself, I don't know the exact story, to the Swarco Raiders, which is Austria.
Yeah, Austria.
Right. And he just won the Euro League championship, I think back to back. He's was rated the best football player in Europe, and I always call him the Euro GOAT or Palm Harbor GOAT because if he had the right situation in high school, he would have played D1 and he would have had a lot more opportunities, but he's made the most of it, which like Allen, they went an alternate route, but guess what? They get playing football, and most of us only dreamed of that ever happening. So they're living their dreams by maybe taking an alternate route and, going through the struggle of maybe not being in the exact situation, but not quitting. So that's like the real thing we want to take from this whole interview, guys. You don't want to quit on whatever you have your eyes or your mind set on. Don't quit just because it's tough. Especially football is going to be tough, especially a sport everyone wants to play. Like you're going to have to out-physically man a lot of people on the way. And especially the person is yourself. That's the person you're going to have to beat more times than you think. So I really, if that could happen, dude, we need to get to Europe. Like that would be fucking awesome to see that game. I guess, I know you're leaving Wednesday, so what is your schedule? So your season starts, like, I guess trying to lay out your schedule, because it's opposite of obviously the NFL schedule, because they don't, for players to come back and play in the NFL, they don't want to play at the same time. So I guess just kind of go out your schedule, how the year's going to look for you.
So basically, yeah, like you said, our schedule is complete opposite of the NFL. So our first game is actually February 2nd, a couple days before the Super Bowl, which kind of sucks for me because I don't know if they air the Super Bowl in France. I know for a fact they do it in Germany, but it's all good because, I'll have a whip and I will drive across the border. I'll do whatever it takes to see some football.
There you go.
I'll look, VPN. But then after that, it's just like a regular NFL schedule. We play a game every week. We have bye weeks built in. The crazy thing about the European schedule that's a little different is that there's more bye weeks built in because some of the guys aren't full-time football players. That's just the reality of it. They have jobs. It's crazy, but they have jobs and they still play football. And we play a game every week. and our season goes from February 2nd, and then the championship game is at about the end of June. But from there, I always take like a month after the season to just travel and, decompress before I come back over to the States.
The struggle. After I play a whole season of football, I have to just travel for a month to decompress from playing football. Nah, but honestly, I understand the struggle of a season. You put so much work and effort to such a little amount of time, and you also get pretty hurt. So you need time to let your body at least revamp and get ready for another season. So the contract you sign, is it it's just for this year?
Yeah, just for this year.
All right, and then so that do all of them go year by year contracts, or if you were like prove yourself, would you sign like a multi-year deal, or how does that work, dude?
Just like you said, so in Europe, 99% of contracts are 1 year, not even full year, 1 season based, and it's rare for a guy to sign a multi-year deal, but if they do, that means the team really believes in you. Like, you got to come in and you really got to make some change, not just as a player on the field, but off the field. Because like we were saying earlier about the youth camp, is the youth thing is a big deal, and they want the game to grow. And, half your job is playing football, but the other half is to help the sport grow, not even just in that town, but in the whole country itself, because they want these kids that are, you get to them early, the better they are. If you don't start playing football until you're 21 years old, there's only so good you can get. You've peaked out physically almost. But if you get a kid when he's 8, then, the sky's the limit. He gets training from an American guy who's played the sport his whole life. From 8 years old all the way through until whenever he leaves. It's leaps and bounds better than all the other kids. Because I know Sean, for example, in Austria, he signed a multi-year deal. He lives there full time now. He doesn't even come back to America.
Yeah, he's the franchise quarterback. There's no, he's physically the franchise quarterback. He plays. He's a great, if you ever talk with him, he's just, how's it going? Very punctual, very respectable guy. So yeah, he's over there always with kids, always learning, teaching people. Sean is if you wanted a quarterback, I don't know, what more, especially in the Euro League, to have that talented of a guy there. I see him balling out for another 3 to 5 years there. Why not?
I told the guy who plays receiver on his team, I was like, if you ever leave or you get cut or whatever the case may be, I'm coming for your job. I'm trying to play with Sean because, they say some receivers are quarterback friendly. Sean is receiver friendly. He makes it real easy to play receiver when you got a guy like him at quarterback. And, I was telling Ryan before that, in Europe, it's not like here. There's not really a 100% set standard to these teams. So, you could be in the first division, but you'll play for a team that just has some guy that has a crap ton of money. And he's like, all right, I want to have me a football team. And he has the money to pay to be in that higher league, so that's where they are. But, Sean's at a program where they've got money and talent. So, to be honest, there's a guy behind Sean that if he wasn't there, maybe they'll win the championship every year, but they would be super competitive. And it's crazy. They have some of these countries like Austria, Sweden, they have actually in the UK as well. Football's huge in the UK right now. They have football academies. So in the UK, it's Bristol Academy. It's literally like IMG here in Florida. The kids, all they do is eat, sleep, breathe football. They go to class for 3 hours a day, and then the other 8 hours of the day is football. It's wild.
Yeah, I could only imagine. It sounds like a dream as a kid. Just sign me up. But yeah, man. Honestly, I think that about wraps it up. Really, really hyped to have you on. Honestly, just chopping it up. I haven't seen you in a minute. Awfully proud of where you gone. I think it's only the beginning. Maybe get another Euro great in the Palm Harbor alumni. We got a QB. Now we just need the greatest receiver at Palm Harbor history in Europe. So appreciate you making your time to come over, make this interview happen. We're definitely going to have more. I know, it's been fun just chopping it up. Maybe we could just have you on a normal episode talking some sports. But I know we're going to have more just going in about the Euro League and definitely the different opportunities. Really enjoyed talking about it. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, man, for having me. When I saw you started this whole thing, I was hyped because it's great to see guys that you went to school with staying around like sports in general and everything. And I see you being real successful in this, and I was really almost honored to when you asked me to be on here, because it's like, wow, starting to feel like I matter as an athlete, because some people don't give you the credit sometimes.
Oh yeah, and you know me, I'm not the easiest one to give credit to anyone. So yeah, no, I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, there's no doubt you were definitely one of the first people I linked up to, and I was just excited that the timing it almost was perfect. You're just about to go to the EuroLeague, and guys, anything you want to know, we're gonna have him on later, maybe update his season a little bit, see how things are going on over there. We're definitely gonna have him again. If you guys, I'll be posting about his games and stuff. Obviously, if you haven't subscribed, iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud, follow on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Any of the support helps, guys. But yeah, that's about it. Peace.
Empty-handed, I'm glad to be alive. I'll never take that for granted. LIFE, I'm flying on a jet ski. I'm working on my legacy. Water, rest, sleep. There's money on my melon. I'm a legend. Let the dead speak. We lost Big Smoke and Duddy Man in the same week. Medellin and Patron, 10 deep. Lying candles, tipping bottles. I can't think. I'm trying to smile, but the bad news pile up. My mind racing, told baby I ain't trying to fuck.